Hi, Storm fans. It's Aden here again, and I'm delighted to bring you an interview with our returning captain, Mr. Cameron Critchlow. Critch, welcome back to Manchester.
Yeah, thanks, Aiden. Pumped to be back. Can't wait to get things going, and just really looking forward to get the season started.
So you've been in Manchester a few years now. Is it starting to feel like second home yet?
Yeah, I think it's already felt like a second home for a few years now, and obviously really comfortable living in the Manchester and Altrincham area. Storm have been great to me. I've had some great years. Love the fans there. I don't really see there's any other scenario than me returning for another season.
Well, delighted to have you back. But looking back at last season, obviously it was your first one as captain. Did that change anything for you in terms of like what you did behind the scenes, what you did on the ice?
Not really. I think that's kind of, that's how I carry myself, no matter if you're wearing a letter on your jersey or not. But it was definitely a great honor for me, and really enjoyed the opportunity to have the C on and kind of be the captain for the Storm and the guys on the team and the coaching staff. And it's kind of a little bit complicated at times. There's probably you have to be a little more aware of what's going on around you than normal. But luckily, I had a lot of really good assistant captains and a lot of good leaders who didn't wear letters on the team as well, who helped me a ton. And it's kind of how that works. You're the top of the ladder as far as the leadership chain goes, but you're really only as strong as your assistants and the guys in the room. So it's nice to have good help. And there's certainly a number of really strong leaders on our team last season. So that was definitely a big help for me.
And it was also first season as head coach for Matt Ginn, your former teammate, your friend. How did you find your relationship?
Yeah, it's a professional relationship, so you have to manage it accordingly. And Matt did a great job as bench boss his first year, and I think as someone who's played with him and he transitioned into coach, you're obviously pretty proud of the guy and how he did his business and handled his workload with player management and just managing the systems and all of the stuff that comes with that responsibility. So it was interesting to see him grow as the year went on and get more comfortable in the role. And I think as the year went on, the results kind of spoke for themselves and kind of how he did and how he managed the players and how the players responded to him as coach. So it was exciting. And moving forward, I think the expectations are only going to get bigger and the standard's going to be risen. And that's all we can ask for is building a winning culture and demanding more of each guy in each role and the responsibility that comes with putting the Storm jersey on.
And what would you say was the main difference between how Ginn coaches compared to Finner?
It's different. Each coach is different, and there's also a lot of similarities within coaches, and how Matt was under Ryan's wing the first year when he was injured and came in as an assistant coach and did really well. There was differences, there was similarities, but both love playing for both of them. So I mean, he was demanding for sure. I think that's what a coach needs to be. Obviously throughout the season you're going to have ups and downs. There'll be good weekends, bad weekends, whatever it may be. But it's just kind of how you respond to those results. And I think that Matt responded appropriately and got the most out of his players throughout the year, and that's really all you can ask for.
Looking back at last season in a bit more detail. So in previous years, we've always been very, very strong at home. So your average weekend is we'd win a home game, but we weren't so good on the road, so we wouldn't necessarily pick up the points on the road. This season, we kind of had fewer. It felt like we had fewer wins at home. We seemed to drop more points there, but we definitely picked up more on the road. And it felt like we either had like 0 point weekends or 4 point weekends. Like, how did you guys handle the roller coaster of the peaks and the troughs? Because we went through periods where we didn't win a game at home for a few weeks, and then we'd win several on the trot. Like, how did you guys get through all that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a strong league. There's a lot of good teams. You're never going to have an easy night in the EIHL, that's for sure. And I think last year, we kind of learned how to play at home as the year progressed, and we had a number of returning guys, good core guys, and with a lot of really good new additions last year, and just kind of getting comfortable in our own arena just took more time than usual for some reason, whatever it may be. But luckily, we had a really good skating team, so I think that really translated on the road. And as far as our mentality is the way we approach games, I think I thought it was really strong, and I think the guys going into every game, they thought we could win every game, and I think if you look at the results throughout the year, I think that's kind of how it ended up playing out. So I think that's a good mentality to have, is going into any rink on the road thinking you can win. If you don't have that, you're going to be in trouble, that's for sure. But as the year went on, we got better at home, and that's kind of the goal. Is just keep getting better each day. And I think as towards the season and even in playoffs, I think everyone can attest that we were playing well both at home and on the road. So you just got to have it as a mentality. It's a bit of an adjustment coming into the Storm shelter for some new guys, but we figured it out along the way, and that's really all you can ask for.
And what would you say was your highlight, your like best game of the season? What was the one you enjoyed the most?
I think going back to on the road as well. I think that road trip in Belfast where we took two was certainly something I'll never forget, and just kind of continue moving that way. It's always a great rink to win in. Another great road win was in Cardiff this year. The boys really battled, and we worked and we grinded teams down, and we were solid defensively. And when we were able to execute that, we were a handful for a lot of teams. So the work ethic is first, and the discipline and the buy-in comes with that as well. So you just got to keep making sure we get the buy-in from each guy, and everyone's there for the right reasons and working for each other. So I think as far as a few wins, there's always a couple of good ones that stick out, and Sheffield at home is always a nice one as well. There's plenty of highlights from last year. It's tough to really pick one, but all the wins feel pretty damn good. I can't lie to you.
What would you say was the toughest moment of the season?
Sorry, what was that?
What would you say was the toughest moment of the season? What was the hardest part?
I think not qualifying for the Challenge Cup, that was a disappointment for us. Looking to change that next season, obviously. Whenever you get on a skid, there's a few times last year where we lost 4 in a row, and then we would bounce back and win four in a row. So it was like you said, it was ups and downs, but you go through that in any season, any league, any team. So you just kind of got to have enough jam, enough grit, mental toughness to just kind of keep moving forward. And when you're in a bad skid or whatever it may be, you just got to use that as motivation, work harder, get through it together as a group.
And at the end of the season, you were called up for Great Britain. What was your experience like there?
It was a fantastic experience. Really, really took a lot of pride with throwing that GB jersey on. A lot of great people within that program, as far as players, staff, everything. Really made me feel at home. Really good team, a lot of great players. So it was a great experience. I learned a lot. It was fun to play against some international competition. It's a different level of pace, skating, and those guys are really good players. So it was fun. It was great, and I'm really appreciative that I had that opportunity, and really want to get back there next season. To be honest with you, something it's a goal of mine to get back to that level and show them that I'm capable of being an impact player at that level. So looking to have a big season and prove to that camp that I can do that.
And looking into next season, so looking at the Storm team from last season, what do you think needs to change for us to kind of take that next step? What improvements do we need to make?
Well, I mean, it's tough because every year is different. It's tough to pinpoint one real thing. Obviously last year we had really strong goaltending with Broads. We had good speed up front. We had depth, and then on the back end we had some really big pieces as well. So I thought we were a pretty well-rounded team as a whole. But each year is going to be different. You'll have different looks, different guys. I mean, as far as one thing you can really ask for is just the buy-in right from the get-go. And I think this year the expectation is going to be different. It's not going to be, win half the games on the road and see and try and win as many as we can at home. It's going to be going every game with the mindset that we're going to win, and leave all the excuses at the door, really. I think speaking with Ryan and Matt to this point, that's the direction we're moving, and that's really what all you can ask for as far as that mindset, that buy-in, not only from the players but the organization, and it's certainly there. So we'll start kind of implementing that as the summer goes on, chatting with guys and and getting things moving as far as how to come in. You know, guys come in shape, be ready to work, and be ready to work for each other. Most importantly.
And finally, before we finish, is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Yeah, it's great to be back. Can't wait to see everybody again. Get that storm shelter rocking as always. But you know, I take a lot of pride in being in Manchester, and like you said, I talked about before, it's second home to me. So you know, I'll certainly do whatever I can within my power to bring the results that we desire.
Well, Cam, thanks very much for your time today. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and we'll see you in September.
Cheers, Aden. Thanks a lot.